Hello, students. So, my name is Dr. Rishikant, and I'm Assistant Professor of Chemistry in the School of Natural Sciences, GNA University, Bhagwan. In the previous lectures, you have done various type of natural resources, including the renewable and non-renewable resources. We have also covered the forest resources and water resources in the detail. So in this lecture we are going to cover the food resources and the remaining topics. So food resources. Today our food comes almost entirely from the agriculture, animal husbandry and fishing. Although India is self-sufficient in food production, it is only because of the modern patterns of agriculture that are unsustainable and which pollute of environment with the excess of use of fertilizers and pesticides. If these crops are hit by the pest, the entire crop can be devastated, leaving the farmer no income during the year. So, why it is important to understand the food resources? Because it is our duty to understand what type of food resources are available and what is the impact if we use excess of the fertilizers. Major type of food resources which are available to us include wheat, rice, maize, potato, barley, oats, pulses, vegetables, fruits, sugar canes, milk, meat, and fish, around which our daily life is almost dependent on these. So, what is the food problem right now in the world? In many developing countries like India, where population are expanding rapidly, the production of food is unable to keep pace with the growing demand. So, like population is more and food productivity is less, so there exists a food problem. Food production in 64 out of 105 developing countries is lagging. That means they are not having that level of quality food for all of the people behind the population growth level. These countries are unable to produce more foods or do not have financial means to import it. India, what is the context of India? India is one of the country that have been able to produce enough food because we are the agriculture dependent. We have majorly our cultivating its large proportion on the land through irrigation. The green revolution of 60s reduced the starvation of the country, and we know the Punjab has contributed majorly in the green revolution. World food problems. World food problems are still people are and young infants are malnourished. So if we look about the data, the world has 848 millions of the people which are malnourished, which do not have the sufficiently dietary vitamins and carbohydrates required for their growth. Developed countries are still having the 16 million people which are malnourished. Developing countries have 832 millions, and in India we have 230 million of the people which are lacking for the foods. They are malnourished, and you can see from the photographs if nutrition do not happen in a good way, it can lead to many problems, including the health problems and development problems. One of the most important business around the coastal cities is fisheries. Fish market is also a wide market for the business. Fish is an important source of protein food in many parts of the world. This include freshwater and marine water fishes. The supply of food from fisheries has been increased nowadays, and we must have seen the fish market nearby us, which is an important food of source for many of the regions. So, what are the problem in the food security? Some of the problem in the food security includes climate change, because the production of food is dependent on climatic conditions. If rain or monsoon season do not happen in that way, or if it is in too much excess, then definitely food is going to be affected. Increasing cost of cultivation, because nowadays resources are very costly. Machinery is a very costly thing. So the price for the cultivation is increasing. Low productivity. Still, we are not up to that level that we can produce a very good level of products from that of farming. Rising population. This is going to one of the major factor for the food, because population is growing, so demand is growing. Demand for water, because most of the time, sometimes water is not available for the irrigation as well. Ecological degradation is a natural problem which causes the food problems around us. Now let's talk about land resources, which is important to understand which type of land resources are there and what is their importance, because we know that many types of some people live in mountain, some people live in around the coastal areas, some live in the plain. So what are the land resources? To understand this, land resources includes hills. Hills are the vertical mountains, valleys, curved areas which do not have high climbed mountain, plains, the part of the Ganga basins, including the Punjab, Rajasthan, UP. These all are the plain areas. River basins and wetlands. So these all five are the type of land resources. And as you can see, land is a finite natural resources. It has the definite amount of resources in it. Land resources are required for building homes, cultivating foods, developing industries, for providing the goods, and creating towns and cities. So we can say that whatever we do around our the lands. Thus, a rational use of land needs to careful planning. That means, as we said, as this is the clear that land is a finite source, so we should use in a effective way. One can develop most of these different types of land uses almost anywhere, but it's very important to protect wild wildlife area in the form of national park and sanctuaries. And we all should understand that there's a dedicated place for the wildlife, that is called national park and wildlife sanctuary. If the land is utilized properly, it can be considered as a renewable resources. It is very important to understand that land resources are renewable if it is being used in a proper way. Land is also converted into a non-renewable resources if it is if some toxic chemicals and other things are being dumped on it. It cannot be used by anyone. So land resources are having important criteria in our lives. Land degradation. What is land degradation? Farmland is under threat due to more and more intensive utilization. Nowadays, all the lands are being used, all the vacant area are being used. Every year, between 5 to 7 million hectares of land worldwide is added to the existing degraded farmland. The use of more and more chemical fertilizers, which are very harmful for our health, poisons the soil, so that eventually the land becomes unproductive. As urban centers grow and industrial expansion occurs, the agriculture land and forests shrink. Obviously, when urbanization will occur, the agriculture land will shrink, and that will have the impact on the productivity. This is a serious loss and long-term ill effect on the human civilization. Soil erosion is also considered as one of the kind of land degradation, because if first layer of the soil is removed, then it will definitely impact on the agriculture. So with this, we have finished the land resources, their importance, types, and the reason for the land degradation. Now, let's cover this natural resources by understanding what is the role of individual in the conservation of natural resources, because that is very important. All the government, all the policies are there which are in current in the role, but as an individual, what we can do, what personally I can do for the conservation of natural resources. So it need to be understood for one by one. Let's see for the forest conservation. So the individual roles in the forest conservation. The measures to conserve the forest, save tree, and planting new trees include not felling the trees in forest, farms, roads, house if they are green. That means cutting down of the trees. Cutting down of the trees should be controlled before the saving, before the planting the new trees. Second uh, task that we can do, not uprooting the existing tree while constructing a house, but planting fast growing plant species in the open area of the house. So if we understand this type of phenomena, that if we plant such type of sampling which are very fast growing, that we can cover the green trees. Planting herb, shrub, and suitable trees in around the house. So this is one of the green initiative that you can choose wisely, and it can be a decorative as well. You can have these plants in your balcony, in your terrace, in your garden area. So this can contribute to the conservation of forest resources. Maintain lawn. Yes, maintain lawn and garden in open place in your house if possible. Participating in community plantation program. If community is giving the opportunity and we have to opportunity to plant the samples, then we should do it. Encourage mass scale tree plantation program, because today need is to plant the tree, because if you want to secure the future generation, and as we are talking about the sustainable development, so today is the need of planting the trees. Cooperate with NGOs engaged in saving the trees. So all the NGOs which are working in this, we should cooperate with them. Planting trees generously in barren field. We should also look for the fields which are empty. So we should plant there. Tag tree plantation with year ceremonies such as birthday, marriage, and anniversary. So this is a new methods. You can give a plant for a birthday gift as well, marriage or marriage anniversary as well. And we have July 1 to 7 as one Mahotsav week. So it is encouraged to adopt a tree program, each one and tree one. We should have this idea that if each one and tree one can be successful, then forest resources can be managed in a very good way. And we have 21st March as a forest day. And in the last, we can do much better in this. Almost all the institutions are shifting for the digitalization nowadays. So discouraging using paper for correspondence. We should be digital now to understand the forest conservation. Now, what is the role of individual in water economy? Water, or we can say that water resources, to save the water resources. The measure for conservation of water resources include not keeping water taps running. This we can do in our daily lives. We do the daily activities in our home, and if we see the tap water is running, we should close them. Check water leaks and repairs. This should be done on the regular way. Adopting minimum water use pattern, because sometimes water availability is very less. So we should know how to use minimum of the water for the domestic activities. Installing water saving toilets and use of optimum water per flush. So as we have seen that many application can be done, like if your water during the brush or other activities can be used for flush as well. Adopting rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is nowadays a very good idea for conservation of water, because it can be used in many effective ways. Collect wastewater in your home and use it for water kitchen gardening. You can also use your uh, outlet water from your home, and it can be used for many of the purposes. Filling water in washing machine to the level required for the clothes to be washed, only that should be used. Watering lawn and kitchen gardens, plants in the evening to minimize evaporation loss and not watering them in the midday, because as we know, in the midday temperature is more and evaporation will occur and that water cannot be used. So this is a very good way. When you are giving the water to the plants, you should be given to the evening time. Save wetlands, lakes, ponds and wells. These are the good resources of water, so we should save them. And we have 22 March as a World Water Day to understand the importance of water and their resources. We also have 2nd February as World Wetland Day. Join Youth for Water team or any such NGO engaged in water conservation. So these are some methods for which we can contribute toward the water saving purposes. Now, what is the role of individual in the conservation of minerals? Because minerals are also non-renewable resources. So some of the measures to conserve mineral are minimize the use of mineral which are likely to be depleted or exhausted. So we should know which minerals are not currently available or very less amount available. Like we know that some of the metals are not available for our use, so we should use them in a sustainable way. Minimize the use of jewelry to conserve the scarce which are rare available. Recycle and reuse mineral and glasses. Buy durable products that last long. That means we should purchase that product which are long lasting. Buy efficient vehicles which are efficient and which can deliver a good productivity to you. Repair and reuse bicycle. This is one of the most important aspect, that using bicycles have advantage to both for the natural resources and for health as well. Use recyclable utensil because they will not higher cost for the minerals or metals. So now see what is the role of individual in the food security. So sustainable use of food and not wasting us. Eating only as much as required for sustenance of the life. We should not be dependent on that food is our life. It should be required the food for the life. Consuming local and seasonable vegetables so they save energy on their transportation, storage and preservation, because as we know many of the vegetables are available in the season, so we should be focused on that way. Buy only organically grown food because chemical fertilizers have very bad impact on health while eating. Discourage packed, canned and preserved foods because sometimes they are not preserved and they can be harmful. Shift from non-veg to vegetarian because it gives us to a way to sustain and preserve the many of the variety of food. We have October 16 as World Food Day and November 21 as World Fishery Day to understand the importance of food and fisheries. The role of individual in the energy conservation and saving the energy. So how can we save the energy? Because energy source we are using are finite. Turning off the lights, fans and other electrical appliances when not in use. Replacing tube lights with CFL and LEDs. As we know, LEDs are more advanced materials which uses much less energy requirement. Constructing building in such a way that maximum amount of sunlight can be obtained. So we can design the buildings in which sunlight can be effectively used during the daytime Try to dry cloth in sunlight instead of dryer or washing machine, so you can you save the energy, because the washing machine dryer will consume a higher amount of energy, and if we can directly dry the cloth in the sunlight, that can be a beneficial. Using solar cookers for cooking food, this is the new methods, and direct without any need of electricity, we can cook the food by using the solar cooker. Buying energy efficient appliances, always checking for energy consumption figure. We should also know what appliance consume what type of megawatt, what is the power of that consumption of that appliance. Minimum use of automobiles by using bicycle, public transport, and carpooling. It is always encouraged that if you are working and if you are doing some work, so you should use the public transport or carpooling rather than individual vehicle, which can effectively contribute to your energy conservation strategy. Try to reside near the place of work if possible. Yes, if you are you have relocated for the work, then you should live nearby place of your working, which make it possible not to use the transport. Keeping vehicle tuned for low consumption of the fuel. Checking fuel consumption data while buying a new vehicle, which we can also go for a technical detail of fuel consumption of the vehicle, following the advice given by the Petroleum Conservation Research Association. That means service is also required for the vehicle to consume the energy resources, diesel, petrol. We should do the regular checking and service of our vehicle. Wearing adequate woolen cloth during the winter instead of using heat converter. We should avoid the heaters during the winters. We can wear the woolen cloths, which gives you sufficient warmer. Growing deciduous trees at proper place outside the house. They will cut off the intense heating during summers, cut off electricity consumption, and will provide cool breeze. So if we grow such kind of trees in our house, so we can sometime use them and can effectively cut down the use of electricity. Thank you.